Hello and welcome to the first video from the 9 days of consistency and value artwork. Okay, in this video we are going to be looking at some common mistakes to avoid as a graphic designer, and we are going to be looking at the 7 most common mistakes to avoid as a graphic designer. Okay, these videos are going to be concise, and I'll try as much as possible to beat time. Okay, so let's go. Okay, the first we have is ignoring client briefs. Okay, failing to thoroughly understand and adhere to client requirements can lead to design outcome that miss the mark. Okay, make sure you really get what your client is asking for before you create any design. I remember a time when starting out, I created a design. Okay, a design for a church actually. Okay, and the clients reached out to me and was like, oh, hi, I would love your design, and I would love you to create something for my church. Okay, it's actually a Pentecostal event. Okay, more like a Pentecostal program. And then I immediately went to work. Come on, can you imagine? He just gave me the theme. Okay, just gave me the theme of the program, and I commenced work immediately. And I used random images of worshippers in church. You get, I did my manipulations and like that. And after I delivered, it was like, oh, I needed images of the speakers on this flyer. Can you see how that I had to start from scratch again? Okay, because the concept I had originally for the first one is different. Okay, you know, when you have this is not the case where you blend images to the background and then it doesn't really people don't really get to see it first thing. Okay, I actually made the images very obvious and visible, so placing images of my speaker will not really pass the message well. So I have to start creating I have to create design again from scratch. Do you get? All right, so the second we have is messing up with fonts. The explanation here is simple. It simply means using the wrong fonts on the right design. Just like what I said there, choose fonts carefully and keep them consistent. Bad font choices can make your designs hard to read and unprofessional. Choose the right font for the right design. Okay, if you are using wrong font on the right design, okay, because whatever brief you receive is the right design, right? So choosing a wrong font will pass across the bad message. Okay, so how do you avoid this? Carefully select your font and try as much as possible to keep them consistent. However, carefully selecting your font means if you are creating a church flyer, select the font that works well or works best for that very flyer. You are not allowed or permitted to use playful fonts. Okay, playful fonts are meant for kids flyers. No, you are not allowed or permitted to use those kind of fonts for your church flyers. These are professional works. Okay, this church flyer is going to a more broader audience. Okay, adults are going to view this church flyer. So why use playful fonts? Why use playful fonts for these flyers? You get? Now back to consistency. Consistently using fonts. It simply means that not using more than 3 typefaces on a particular design. Don't mess things up. There's difference between typeface and the fonts, right? So if you're creating a church flyer and for instance you choose to use creator display or Montserrat, okay, for a particular font, for a particular design, and then those are 2 types of two typefaces different. Those are 2 separate typefaces. And say for instance you started using these 2 typefaces and then you want to be creative. You went and brought Times New Roman as a font. You went and brought Nexa. You went and brought, oh come on, that is wrong. Okay, it will make your design difficult to read. It will make your design difficult to read. Try as much as possible to limit yourself to few typefaces. Okay, you see how beautiful your design will become because of the consistency in font usage. Alright, so now the third we have is following too much trends. Trends are cool, yeah, but going all in can make your designs look outdated quickly. A very good example is spices. Okay, spices for food. Okay, spices for food. We all know that fonts are we all know that spices are good for meal. Okay, spices are good, but the fact that I want my meal to be very sweet doesn't really qualify that I go and get 10 different spices and put on a very single meal. You see, Spices are good for food, and there are different styles of spices. Permit me to put it that way. Now the question is, what happens if you go all out and pick 10 different spices for the same meal? Your body will tell you, don't worry, but you can give it a trial, like try those spices out, mix 10 spices on a single meal and let me know about the result. Okay, they say there's no harm in trying, right? So champ, come on, go on, give it a try. Okay, but here I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. There is there will be a great harm, okay, in trying to do the wrong thing. That's the truth. There will be a great harm in trying to do the wrong thing. Some people might be like, what's trends? What are trends? Okay, you've been saying following trends too much is not good, like that. But I'll show you something. There used to be a time that many people use these on their flyers a lot. Okay, for those who specialize in creating still graphics, okay, flyer designs, print designs, like that. There used to be a time that this very effect or this style, okay, this element used to be a trend. People use this a lot. Okay, people use this a lot on their flyers. And also this guy here, let me show you. Come on, where is it? Yeah, this guy. There used to be a time that almost all creative wants to use this very element on their flyer designs. You get, these are trends. Okay, when you see this happening a lot, he is known as a trend. Okay, he's known as a trend. So let's continue. The fourth we have is skipping the planning stage. Take time to plan your designs. Okay, rushing into things can lead to chaos and lots of do-overs. Okay, example is that probably a client reach out to you and be like, oh, I need an urgent flyer. Okay, I need an urgent flyer, can you get it done? And you'll be like, because you love the money, I'll be like, I can get it done for you, but it's express. Oh, come on, are you a photographer? They'll be like, express delivery. Are you a photographer? Take time to see. This thing takes process. There's a process. There's something known as a process in graphic design, a design process. There are stages where you get to research, do your planning and all before you commence any design. You get, so don't skip the planning stage. Take time to digest the brief. Okay, take time to digest the brief. Okay, skipping the planning stage, I literally did that when I was when I didn't understand my client's brief, from the first point I made. Okay, I didn't really understand my client's brief and I rushed. I skipped the planning stage. If I went through the planning stage, I'll be like, okay, why planning? I'll be like, oh, I didn't really get if the clients really needed the pictures of speakers on the flyer. I think I will get to realize that, oh, my client might really want pictures of speaker, and then I'll reach out to him very quickly. Do you want pictures of speakers on this very design? Okay, do you have any specific color for this very design? Just like that, we direct you. Okay, it will direct you on how to create a very functional design. Okay, let's continue. Ignoring feedback. Now, as a graphic designer, listen to what others have to say about your work. Okay, it helps you improve. Even if it's not always easy to hear. As easy as this will sound, it's one of the most difficult things designers yield to. Like, we don't really want to get corrected. We don't want to take feedback. Okay, I see many people join design communities on Facebook, on WhatsApp, okay, various design groups, and they'll drop their designs there and be like, CNC. They'll drop their designs and caption it CNC, correction and criticism, right? So when people drop a message, okay, when people leave a message or a feedback or probably a correction on that very design, it's very difficult to find designers who will implement that and bring back the corrected version of that design. No, we don't do that. We don't really do that. But this is something that will help us improve. Whenever someone corrects that very design, it will be very difficult. Okay, very difficult to make that mistake. Okay, when we take effect, like when we take it into effect, like when we go back, correct it, we are already familiar with it. So it will be very difficult to make that very mistake again on our coming projects. Okay, come on. Many designers drop their designs on groups, okay, to oppress people. One of those reasons, And sometimes you find these people dropping their designs for CNC for correction after they must have sent their designs or sent that very design to the client. What then do you need correction for? If you want correction, stay and receive correction. But if you feel your design is good, that you to the point that you've sent it to the client, then fine, go with your design. Stop stressing. See, my coach used to, he has a community and he'd be like, correct this design. Okay, go to my community. He'll be like, Chinemere, go to my community and drop some corrections on some designs. Okay, that these designers are dropping there, and I find myself not doing that many times. Not because I'm not eager, because I myself, I still submit my designs for correction to my bosses, my coach, like that. But you see, going back to correct something that you know that they will not affect the change on their design, it's a waste of time, right? So if you are not going to take feedback, don't drop your designs for correction. Okay? Come on. Okay, I think I need to say this also. Not everybody has the capacity to drop to correct your design. Not everybody needs to correct your design. Oh, come on. I could have said something, but it's all regardless. So there was a time that I dropped my design starting out, I think way back last year. Okay, early last year. I dropped my design on one community like that. And then the rest, see, some community are there to damage you. Run. Not every community is meant for you. Okay, not every community is meant for you. Run. Leave that community. You see that that community is very wild and strange. Leave there. Leave there. It's not meant for you. Leave there. Okay. So I dropped my design there, and the comments I received were so horrible that I had to log out. Drop my phone, leave the online presence for a while, and I have to think, like, is it really my calling? Like, am I meant to be in this design space of the thing? Because it was so horrible and disgracing. Because many people don't want to comment. When they see comments of person, may probably, okay, here there was the comment. Don't send exactly line for line. That's what the admin, the owner of that community himself told me. Don't try sending this to your clients. It's horrible. The design is horrible. You can imagine. There's a place for correcting designs with love. You'll be like, oh, you tried, you did well, can you change this? Can you change this one? Let's see. Stuff like that. Come on, let's not do it here. Okay, just try as much as possible not to ignore feedback from the right people. That's the summary of the whole thing. Now, the sixth point is not keeping a consistent look. If you're working for a brand, okay, let me start like this. If you're working for a brand, okay, try as much as possible to keep things looking the same across different design. Okay, it helps people recognize the brand easily. Okay, it helps people recognize the brand easily. For instance, if the brand you're working for, has a specific color palette, why not maintain the colors on that palette for all of their designs? That's why the designer who did the brand identity chose the color palette, like chose that very brand color for them, so that they'll be able to see whenever their audience, okay, or their target audience, as the case may be, views their designs, they will know immediately. You can never find Coca-Cola creating designs with yellow color. Their brand color is red. Okay, a dark shade of red. I don't know the color code, but you can never find Coca-Cola creating designs with, I don't know, probably you've seen one, but I've not really seen one in my eyes. Okay, you can never find them creating designs with blue color. Their brand color is red, and then they have to maintain that look. Okay, another example is a brand that has a specific typeface. Okay, that's for big brands though. I think I've explained established the difference between a typeface and a font, right? So a brand might really want a specific typeface attached to their name. That is where if you as a random designer goes there, pick their font, you can be sued because it's a trademark. Okay, they've created the font themselves, like they bought the font. Okay, a designer created it for them, whichever one. Okay, like MTN Sans. When MTN did a complete or a total branding, a font was created attached to them. So as startup, I've seen many people, okay, many of us as designers, we use MTN Sans randomly, okay, like we don't care. But if you create a very good flyer design for a very big brand and MTN notice that, do you know that you can be sued? Okay, I'm digressing already. Far from that, the point is, try as much as possible to maintain Okay, maintain the brand materials. Maintain the brand materials for a specific brand if you're working for a brand. Okay, and the same thing is still applicable to flyer designs. Okay, I got a job recently for a brand. Okay, I will be designing for them, and monthly I'll be paid. Okay, when I finished closing this client, the very first thing he suggested was that I meet their previous designer and get their brand materials from the designer, their brand colors, okay, the color codes for their brand color, and you know, their if they have a color palette. I shall don't know, but I'll reach out to the designer, which I've not done. Okay, here's the thing. The brand owner is trying to build a brand. Okay, come on, his brand is growing, right? And there's this message is passing across to his audience, coming out again differently with another color totally different from what they've been using. Will look strange. Okay, and many times it will cause distrust. Okay, or it will cause their audience not to really trust them. You know, you changing this color today, you know, those kind of things don't really make sense. Okay, it doesn't really make sense. If it's just a one-time job, okay, you have to create a social media flyer for a brand. Probably you're not working with them full time. You just want to create a one-off flyer for them. This is the place where research also comes in. Research their previous works, research the designs they've been using for a while. Okay, and maintain that pattern. Don't go outside that. Maintain that pattern. Okay, I was in class yesterday, and as God will have it, the tutor there taught design process. Not as though it was something new, but then he still emphasized on design, on research. Okay, the place for research. He emphasized deeply on that. Okay, researching and planning can still be applicable to all of these mistakes. Okay, that you can avoid as a graphic designer. Okay, and this brings me to the last point we have. Okay, forgetting about white space. Crowded designs without proper white space can make it challenging for viewers to focus on key elements. Okay, don't crowd everything together. White space is your friend. It makes design easier to look at. You see, simplicity is often supreme. Like, simplicity is the best. Come on. So inculcate the habit of keeping it simple. Okay, for all of your designs. Come on, for all of your design, inculcate the habit of keeping it simple. Designers will call it keys, like keeping it simple. Okay, remember, your goal is to pass across an information, and if your design is too crowded, you won't achieve that. Okay, you won't achieve that if your design is too crowded. Say you have, okay, let me enable my touches, okay, say for instance you have an element here, you have another visual element, you have another, come on, the whole thing, your element will be shouting for help. Come on, please come and save me from this designer. That's what your elements will literally be doing. So try as much as possible to give them breathing space. Okay, allow them to breathe. Let your visual element breathe. Come on. Okay, I think that will be all for now. Okay, I will see you in the next video. But before you go, if you're just seeing my video for the first time, leave a subscribe. Okay, subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification, like by tapping on the notification icon, so you'll be notified whenever I drop another video. Okay, I will see you in the next video. I remain Keko. Bye.